Hey guys, what is up? DG Whip here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about an important topic when it comes to the exhaust of these VQs. Now these VQ35s are infamous or famous or whatever you want to call it for their sound that the engine makes, or particularly the exhaust. A lot of people say, oh, they sound like trombones, they sound like shit, and then some people are like, oh, they sound amazing, best sounding V6. And personally, I think it sounds great. Especially the stock exhaust, one of the best sounding stock exhausts. I love the sound it made when it was stock, surprisingly. It wasn't like loud, but it had a really clean, just, I can't explain the sound. I'll probably play a clip really quick. The thing is, people kind of mess these up, and what they'll do is they'll go too cheap, or they'll mess up the exhaust, and then it'll just sound like a straight trombone and it'll be raspy. So today is basically just going to be a guide on how to make these sound good, and depending on your budget, what route you should take and how much it's going to cost, and what you should and what you can and cannot do in order for these to sound fucking mint. So if you guys are curious, I'm not going to be able to show you very well right now. I am rocking a custom True Dual exhaust with Motordyne Art Pipes. I don't have exhaust tips yet. As you can see, a custom. I also have Magnaflow Resonators. That makes it so it's not like dummy loud. And I tell you, I had this car straight piped with the Motordyne Art Pipes. This car was ridiculously loud, dude, and I felt like a dickhead driving around. It was just too loud. It did not have the sound I wanted. I did not want that loud of a car, and I like loud, but for like a VQ, you don't need it that loud. So I put the Magnaflow Resonators on, and it really smoothed it out the tone, and it made it sound very nice. So for those of you guys that like my exhaust setup, I'll put all the parts and the exact parts in the description just in case. There's a few tricks on making these sound good. So number one, we're gonna go by your budget. So if you are hurting for money and you can't really go too crazy on a Tomei DAW or Motordyne, then what you can do to make these sound decent is just a muffler delete, but do not delete the resonator. The resonator eliminates the rasp and the shitty sounds. And I promise you, if you go muffler delete and resonator delete, it'll be loud and it might sound okay sometimes, but the rasp can be really ugly, and especially in the cabin and everything, it's just gonna be really ricey and tin canny, and you're not gonna like it. And now the muffler delete is cheap. If you do decide to go that route, it's cheaper to do a single exit muffler delete, but if you want to keep your dual tips because you like how it looks, that's actually going to be more expensive the way the muffler is. My muffler delete costs like 90 bucks. Most shops will do it between like $60, $100. It really depends on your area. So if you want a really budget friendly route, what I recommend is keep your cats, keep your resonator, and just delete the muffler, and it will sound good. It will have a nice tone. It'll be louder, but it still be smooth, and the rasp will be very minimal, and it'll be respectable, and people won't call you a ricer, and that's very important. Now, if you have a little more money for an exhaust, I would recommend going Z1 Motorsports. They have a really good single exit exhaust. I believe that setup only costs about $500. BeDistinct is actually running that exhaust right now, I believe, and his sounds really good.
That was kind of 3,000.
If that's your budget for an exhaust, that's definitely a good route to take. I would not recommend the eBay HKS knockoffs. I mean, they can sound okay, but they don't. They kind of ruin the VQ sound in my opinion, and they just sound very typical like 90s to early 2000s sports car-y and very like generic sounding. I would stay away from those. Now, for those of you that want to go no catalytic converters and you want to go straight pipe, particularly test pipes, I recommend don't even mess with the test pipes at all unless you want to get art pipes. Now, the reason why I say that is these are dyno proven for the best gains for your car, especially if you get it tuned. They're $650, give or take, depending on where you get them, unless you get them used. Good luck finding used ones, by the way. These are resonated, and they have a big resonator on them. It's made out of titanium, I believe, and these make a really distinct sound, and they sound amazing. And Motordyne just makes top of the line exhaust parts. Do not remove your catalytic converters unless you want to go that particular route, in my opinion. Otherwise, if you go test pipes and you don't get a tune and then you have like just nothing but exhaust, it's going to sound like absolute trash. It's going to be one of those Z's or G's that you hear and you're like, oh my god, there's no way that dude thinks his car sounds good. Yeah, you're going to be that guy. Do not remove your catalytic converters unless you're going to go with Motordyne Art Pipes. I'm just telling you that right now. You will thank me later. It's well worth the money. The only way you can actually rock test pipes is if you rock a full Tomei catback or a Motordyne catback. And at that point, you might as well complete the sound and make it sound really good if you're gonna go all out and exhaust like that. But that brings us to our next point. If you want the top of the line setup and there's nothing that compares, Motordyne Shockwave. Nothing compares to Motordyne Shockwave. This makes the car sound exotic, and I am not joking when I say that. This car sounds insane with the Motordyne Shockwave. Recommended you get the Motordyne Art Pipes with it. You can rock headers if you want, that's not a requirement, but Motordyne Shockwave is just, I'll play some clips. It's insane the sound it makes. The sad thing is I've never heard it in person, and everyone says it's not justified until you hear it in person or you drive it. Yes, the setup is 2 racks. Yes, 2 racks. However, nobody that has gotten it has said that I didn't like it, I regret the purchase, it was too much money. Everybody is super satisfied with their purchase and they keep it. It's their best exhaust setup. I'm sure you guys watched Motordyne G35 and you hear how his sounds amazing. It's the best setup for this car, hands down. Now, if you don't want to go balls to the wall and spend the $2,400 with the Art Pipes and Motordyne Shockwave and everything, you can go a little cheaper and you can go Tomei. I believe Tomei is about a rack. It's about $1,000. Now that's half the price of Motordyne, but Tomei still sounds great. It's still a titanium exhaust, and the titanium exhaust is kind of what makes it sound really good. It's very high quality metal, of course, and it's super lightweight. So if you rock Motordyne Art Pipes with a Tomei exhaust, it sounds amazing. Or if you just rock your normal cats with Tomei, it sounds amazing.
Oh fuck! Exhaust is gone!
Now most of the Tomei is single pipe, it's single exit. However, I do think they just started making dual exits. It's not Motordyne level, but it's pretty damn close on how good it sounds, and plus you get car clout in the community, and that's always a plus. Tomei, you can rock kind of whatever. You can rock cats, Art Pipes, or test pipes, and it'll usually still sound pretty solid. So a little trick, if you guys want to change the sound and give it a little more deeper rumble, a trick you actually can do, which is worth it in my opinion, it's something I've actually considered doing, is getting bigger cams. Now this is a lot of work and this is not cheap. I believe like decent cams can go upwards of $800. However, this is actually going to change the sound because it changes the exhaust valve openings and all that complicated stuff that I'm not going to get into right now, but it does change the sound. It makes it, especially at idle, you can just hear the car idle and it's super satisfying. It makes it it gives it a little more of a deeper tone. So if you want to full commit, I'd recommend getting bigger cams. Now headers, I don't think headers really change the sound too much. It's mostly your catback and your catalytic converters and art pipes and whatnot are going to change the sound the most. I'm gonna tell you right now, headers on this car, to me, at least as of right now, is not really worth it, and that is because getting to the headers is not fun. Some people, they actually pull them up here and just move all this crap out of the way, and there's a lot of shit in the way. You have a coolant line, a metal coolant line you have to remove, the wiring harness, vacuum hoses, fuel lines, but you can do it, and it's the same on that side. It's a little easier on this side. Or you can drop the subframe. I believe pulling them up is actually a little bit easier, but it's a lot of work and not for a lot of gains and not for a lot of noise level. And at least for me, the money you're gonna spend for decent headers is not really worth it, or the gains. You might gain 5 or 6 horsepower maybe if you're lucky. I would say, unless you have extra money and you don't mind the 8 hours of labor it might take you to rip the headers out and put new ones in, it's not really worth it. My brake fluid went down a little bit. That's kind of weird. Going custom is a good way to go if you do it right. I would say if you go custom, make sure you have resonators at the very least. If you want a little more of a smoother and quieter tone, you can get mufflers as well, whatever you choose, whether you go Magnaflow or whatever, Borla muffler, Flowmaster, whatever you choose, or if you even get a Tomei or Motordyne muffler, that's up to you. That's up to your budget and what you're looking for. Don't make the same mistake I did and get a 2 1/4 inch pipe, because that's what I did, and I forgot to tell them to bump it up to 2.5, or if not 3, because I believe the Motordyne Art Pipes are 2.5. My pipes, even though I definitely have more volume in the exhaust because it's a true dual instead of the Y pipe single, I believe it is a little tad bit restrictive because there's a different size at the X pipe and the Motordyne Art Pipes. So a little tip, if you guys do decide to go custom is a good way to go. Custom is a little cheaper. I think my custom setup, not including the Art Pipes, was like $380, I believe, with everything. Don't quote me on that. That's not a bad deal at all for how good this sounds. However, with the Art Pipes, this made the setup be like almost $1,000. So the Magnaflow Resonators, they weren't too much. I think they're like 90 bucks a piece. And if you go custom, it's of course custom, so you can do single exit, you can do quad tips, you can do whatever you want. That's the cool thing about custom. I'm so mad that I fucked up this license plate 30 minutes before BeDistinct meet that I traveled 8 hours to, because I decided to take it through a car wash and the thing's folded in my license plate. Ugh. Any whore, I'm not gonna get into that right now. I didn't cover every single exhaust option there is, because there is a ton. There's NVIDIA, there's HKS. I think HKS is a little expensive for what you're getting. But that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys that actually regularly follow my channel. I know who you guys are. Shout out to all you guys. I appreciate it so much. I'm gonna step back inside because it's way too hot to be just standing in the sun in 108-degree weather in Vegas. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done that. We have big plans. We're getting probably this car now into SEMA instead of this one, because I don't want to ruin my nice example of a G35, because even though the VQ does not meet my power goals, I still love the VQ. It's an awesome engine as long as you take care of it and you keep oil in it. That's the key. Keep oil in your VQ, guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough. I will see you guys next time.